in regards to what Athena is about. And then after that, we'll have 15 minutes of group coaching. So you can ask whatever you want, whatever your biggest challenge is. Followed by that, we would have our focus group discussions where you guys will share experiences and learnings with each other. So welcome. Just as an overview, you guys should have all gotten this onboarding guidebook link. If not, we'll send it to you via email. So there's a couple things to join. There is the weekly coaching session and focus group. This is what you're on right now. We have WhatsApp and Discord for communications. We have the founders curriculum. It's just on our website. That's about 300 resources that you can go through at your own pace. And you can start with our How to Start a Startup course, which is on YouTube and also on our website. We have $100 prizes, and this is based around pretty much the most important task that you would initially need to do as a founder, which is build a product that is 10 times better than anything else that's currently out there. This is more important than sales, marketing, or anything else, because if your product isn't significantly better than others and you're just doing like a clone or a copycat product, because you're a new entrant to the market, it's very unlikely that people will switch to your product. So it's really critical to make your product 10 times better. And then everything else would be marketing, sales, everything else would be a lot easier. So how do you do this? You do this by becoming an expert in your industry through studying 100 other companies or competitors out there, by talking to a lot of users in your industry and seeing what pain points they have and what is missing from the current products that they use, as well as talking to a lot of industry experts, ex-founders, ex-employees, and people running similar companies that you can find on LinkedIn. So for example, if you talk to 10 users and you record the calls, there's a $100 prize. If you study 10 companies in your industry and then you come up with some analysis on how you are going to combine different aspects of what they do and make a product that is substantially differentiated, that's another $100 prize. And then if you collect all these prizes, there's $500 worth in total. That means you'll be eligible for the Athena residency, which is where we will provide you with $10,000 to $20,000 in funding for a 5 to 10% equity, which is roughly equivalent to a 6 months salary to help you start your business. The next part about Athena is weekly updates. So we encourage everyone to build in public. This is just, what did I work on? What are my learnings? What challenges am I facing? And what are my goals for next week? So why build in public? You can establish a personal brand. Go back to this document. For myself personally, I've been building in public for years, and we've built up an audience of 70,000 on LinkedIn and maybe a couple million views on YouTube. And this has been a game changer for my business contact in terms of driving customers. Your friends will give you feedback and people would help you. When you reach out to mentors and industry experts on LinkedIn, people are more likely to help you, and investors will also notice. It will keep you accountable. If you tell all your friends that you're going to start a business, now you're committed because you don't want to look like a failure in front of your friend. And generally, nobody's really going to steal your ideas because all the ideas are out there already on the internet. And everyone has access to the whole trove of human knowledge in our pockets. Most of us are too lazy to execute. So it's execution that really counts. The other stuff we have is just the mentorship sessions. As I mentioned, after the coaching session, we would do group discussion, talk about your biggest challenges and share ways to solve them or similar experiences that you have, as well as things that you've learned and how you are progressing. So that's it for the introduction. We can go on to the next part, which is talking about your biggest challenge. Let's go back to the slideshow. We can talk about what is your biggest challenge for this week, your biggest business challenge that you're currently facing, and we can workshop together and try to help you solve it. We might start with Discord. I think you want to be prioritized in terms of the workshop. Just post your question on Discord. I think first up we have Mohit. Let me just share my screen so everyone can see. Okay, so your friend runs an email marketing agency. He wants to integrate all the tools. Is it a genuine problem to integrate tools between contact finding tools, email marketing tools, email warm-up tools, things like that? I don't really think it is, because I feel like Apollo does that already, or Lemlist. They also do that already. and they are quite reasonably priced. You can buy an Apollo license for $19. So I feel like the service is already there's a lot of people that are already offering a integrated service. I think also a lot of people prefer to have separate specialized services because those services are more powerful. For example, people may use SalesLoft or Outreach specifically for email campaigns, and then they might get the data from ZoomInfo or from ContactOut or from Apollo. Those data vendors are better for contact. Cool. Who wants to go next? Otherwise, we can go around the room as well. Yep, Tarini.
Hey Rob, hi. So my question was actually a bit related to the kind of content that you guys post on YouTube because I'm trying to grow in that space currently, build an online community, right? You spoke about how you built your personal brand and you built in public. So what were some key strategies you felt like were helpful in that process? If you could also maybe even your team, whoever did the main online presence part of it, some kind of strategies could be shared so that somebody who's a bit in their initial stages could get a lot of help from that aspect of it.
Yeah, for sure. I listen to a lot of podcasts from Mr. Beast where he shares about how to make engaging videos. The main thing is just to do a cut every 2 seconds to keep the viewer engaged. So change scenes every 2 seconds to try really capture the user within the first 30 seconds. Retention is really important. So if your retention is even slightly better, say 10% better, your video would end up getting significantly more, like maybe 10 times more views. There's a bunch of YouTube channels that have a lot of great content on how to make good video. I forgot them off the top of my head. I think Ali Abdul has a course. I think you can find it online to download, but it's a paid course. That's on content side. On promotion side, I would say take a look at some of Gurum's content from Lemless that was previously mentioned in terms of growing a social following. One of the main concepts that he talks about there, which is what I've also mentioned in terms of building in public and then commenting on each other's posts, is that actually creates mutual engagement for everyone. If you write a post and then you share it and then you tag other folks in Athena, and if we all then give each other feedback, not only would we learn from each other, but that post would get further reach from all our friends and all our network, and it will help that post go viral. So typically, the more people that comment and engage with the post, the more likely it is to go viral. Hence why it's helpful to go in public and then tell your friends to give you feedback, as well as giving feedback to other folks in Athena.
And that's the name of the person you suggested to follow for promotion.
So if you go to curriculum on Athena VC, and if you go down to the growth marketing section,
Right.
there's this guy called Gurum. Yeah, allow me. This guy, it's in chat. So if you find him on YouTube, he has a personal branding. I think if you search Lemless personal branding class, yeah, if you search that on Google, you should be able to find it.
All right. Thank you.
Hi, Rob. I'm audible.
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah. So first of all, a big fan. I first you you are Hawk, and you are one of the main characters in my Angel Athena answers when I submitted the sheet. So apart from it, we have started building the product. I'm actually the founder of Creator OS, and we are aiming to launch the alpha version in the next month, basically the end of the July. And I just want to know the strategies, if you have any in your mind that could serve us as a better perspective while launching that alpha. We've already have contacted to 50 to 60 influencers and content creators so that they can give a justified feedback to our product. Apart from it, what else you can align me up so that it can serve a better perspective in launching the alpha version of that product?
Could you provide a bit more context on what the product is about?
It's called Creator OS. It's an operating system around creators and upcoming branding advertisement industry. It serves as an all-in-one platform for all of their content that they put on various social media platforms, be it LinkedIn, Substack, Medium, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. They just have to go to the platform and then sign up and then put their links, and they can have their all-in-one ball. We call it influencer ball. Get ready. We still we have completed the prototyping of the product, and we still looking forward for the alpha testing so that we can get more and more feedbacks in the progression of the product while it's developing.
Yeah, I think So to my understanding, it might be something similar to Linktree or maybe a stand.store, things like that.
Yeah, so it's basically like you got the correct context. So Linktree is, so if you see LinkedIn, LinkedIn is just serving as a virus in all social media profile bio links. And I got very intrigued about how Linktree is working and how there are like multiple competitors for us also, like Pento. If you've heard about Pento.me, that provides the all-in-one link for your, I'll text you on the link. It's called Pento.me. There are like several other companies that we have started their product. And after starting their product, we see a huge gap in terms of revenue generation for the content creation for the content creator. Suppose be it you are a founder or be, and as a founder, you are on LinkedIn, you are on YouTube, you are also on Instagram, you are on Twitter, and every possible social media account, you are behaving somewhat different. So to capture that, we are introducing something called branding wall and influencer wall. So it's something like that. Yeah.
Yep. I would take a look at this guy, John Hu. He has this thing called Stand.store where recently they got to 26 million revenue and they grew from like 1 million revenue last year to 26 million within the last 6 months. Similar sort of concepts, like they provide a store for influencers to upload lessons or premium content, paywall content, things like that. I think like it like growth, like going back to what I mentioned earlier, like 10x better product is the key to everything. So with guy with Don Hu, his product was unique in that he did not take commissions he did not charge transaction fees or take commissions for setting up a store. All he did was, I think it's a $19 subscription, which is like a very good deal. So you
Yeah.
can actually be like 10 times better by being 10 times cheaper. It just needs to be like the best option for the end user. And I think especially with something that has a natural viral loop, like working with influencers, if you could just be the best product and if you can get like just 10 people to install it, however you're doing right now, if it is like genuinely differentiated, then they will like the influence, they'll naturally tell their friends. That's how like this guy, John Hu, blew up from basically nothing, like unknown last year to 26 million in revenue. Yeah, I would just purely focus on the product and get it to the point where the influencers that you're talking to are like raving about your product, like
Yes.
literally just seeing their eyes blur and light up. I wouldn't necessarily focus on like, how do I growth hack it more? You can, there's a lot of ways. If you go through like some of the growth resources in the curriculum growth marketing section, there's like tons of growth hacks. I won't go into all the details here, but yeah, like Gurm stuff is good. This guy, Jared Codling, has like really good growth hacking stuff. But yeah, again, I would focus purely on why is this product 10 times better and just talk to as many influencers until you can figure out that like angle of differentiation, and then it'll spread by itself.
So basically, we already got the feedback like it's a tool that works like a Canva and bids like a Figma. So we are actually building that. So it's kind of an editor that gives you a drag and droppable situation where you can drag and drop widgets, basically the applications to your wall, and then you can on one click share. You can get a single bio link, and that you can put it in your Instagram bio, be it in the LinkedIn, or maybe at any other social media profile. So we are already getting these kind of feedbacks. I just want to go with the alpha testing. Any other thing that you want to share that could help us launching at the alpha state would be better.
I think one mistake that I made is when for example, like I spent maybe 6 months building like in Rishi, mostly Rishi. We spent a lot of time building like AI email writing tools or email campaign tools because we thought users would want this. We're like, oh, great, you're a salesperson. Of course you would want AI to write and personalize email. And then everybody was saying to us, oh yeah, this is great. This is cool. We'll totally use this. We built it. And people were like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is nice. But did they actually want to pay us more money? Were there six-figure deals signed, or were people like, hey, I'll give you $10,000 for this feature? Which was no, that there wasn't. So I think as you're engaging with users, being able to differentiate between this is solving like a real pain point versus this is a nice to have. And the key determinant of that is people pay and how much will they pay you. And that will help you. So for example, for some of the features that you mentioned, it might be worth asking the users, hey, are you like put your credit card down to subscribe to $20 a month, $50 a month? If they say no, then you'll know. If they say yes, then great. Then I think you're on something. But if they say no, then I think you might need to dig in deeper and to understand why. Sweet. All right. Who are we up to next? Let's see. Okay. I think Justice was first.
Hi, everyone. Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
All right, cool. Thanks. This is my first time with Athena VC, and thank you for this opportunity. So I run Borderless Delivery. If you type in your browser, borderless.delivery, it's a delivery operations management platform for African courier providers. I'm trying to also expand that, globally. We've spoken to customers. We have people using it. We have over 200 signups from 16 countries, but we just focused on the ones we can engage directly. And then in trying to onboard more customers this year, I have observed that the product is great according to their feedback. They want to use it, they like it, and everybody is happy. But then, time to register, the behavior around coming on board is something I've observed that their willingness is just low. You have to push. How do I solve the problem where that onboarding cycle is just low? Their willingness, really, because form is not hard to fill. There's not a problem filling the form to register. That willingness to just maybe take a minute and focus on this and come on board. Is there anything that can be done to maybe psychologically work with these customers to help them become more willing to hop on this solution? That's the thing I'm trying to break through with now.
What does the solution do? It allows you to manage your logistics. What happens to help you manage?
All right. So as a courier service provider or as a logistics operator in Nigeria, as a very good example, they use WhatsApp. So they collect orders from their customers via WhatsApp. And that process itself could take between 10 to 30 minutes. So they can only do as much as the orders they close from their customers. Then the dispatch riders that work with them, these courier providers, the dispatch riders that work with them, they don't have visibility into where the dispatch riders are when they assign a delivery task to that dispatch rider and the dispatch rider goes on field. It takes that person time to complete the job. And they also don't know where that dispatch rider is. Some of these dispatch riders, they lie a lot. Some of them might even steal their bikes or their scooters, whatever the case may be. But this solution simply helps them in 3 ways. There's a delivery link that they can always share with their customers to quickly collect orders from their customers in 30 seconds to a minute. And then there is a mobile app that we've built, and it's free for them. The dispatch rider would use it, and any order they receive, they just push it to the rider on the mobile app. And that mobile app can always tell them when the delivery has been started, wherever they are at that point in time. They don't have to be calling them all the time. Then how do their customers pay them? We've given them the ability to configure their pricing.
It sounds like it's a B type of product. You mentioned like having people fill out a form. Do you have a sales team selling this, or are you imagining this as a self-service type of thing?
So it's both way. The sales team reach out to them. So I have just 2 people in the sales team right now, trying to still bootstrap and grow, right? So they reach out to them, follow up with the discussions, even have necessary demos, but then it's still on that customer's end to come on board. You get?
So
Yeah.
I think it sounds like with like the complexity of your product and how deeply it integrates with the business process.
Okay.
It's not a like self-service type of product. It's like a sales-driven B2B sell, which is fine. But then the issue isn't, okay, like, why aren't they filling out this form? It's more like, how do we sell them better? And then we may need to revisit the assumption of, are we really providing something that's 10 times better? Because if we were, and it's like, they can see, okay, why is this unique or significantly better than what I'm currently doing? You don't even need to have the product ready to get them to sign like check. Like there are many examples of people that just sell on a PowerPoint presentation and they're like, hey, this is what you're doing. And if we build it you give us a letter of intent. If we build it, you agree to pay us this amount of money. I think a good way to like how I've gone about like improving my sales process is I've just signed up with another email to all my competitors' products. And then I've just recorded all their sales calls. So I'll do this with 20 companies, like all my competitors. I get their pitch decks. I get the exact objection handling. So like at whatever stage you're stuck, just give the same objections to one of your competitors or to like a similar company in a different country. And then just whatever your customer is not doing right now, just give the same objection to like another sales rep selling a similar product in a different country. And then you'll know what to say. But I think you may want to revisit, is this product truly 10 times better? And I think whilst we all, and I'm definitely guilty of this too, when I started Contact Data, I'm like, yeah, of course Contact Data, like everyone loves it. Everyone needs contact data. Of course you need this. But you are not going to be an expert until you've genuinely studied like 100 companies in your industry and you've spoken to like at least 50 like other founders in your space. So you truly know. You're like, okay, like what, like really, how do I combine the best of everything? So I would revisit the assumption of, okay, users love my product, because if they did, then they'll be buying it and you wouldn't have a problem. And I would say that even with Contact Out as a business, right? Like we're closing on like 10 million revenue. I would not say that users love Contact Out as a product. I would not say that we're 10 times better. I'd say maybe we're 20% better, maybe we're 20% better, in that our differentiation is we provide personal emails and maybe we have a bit better coverage on personal emails. Most other providers provide work emails, but it's not 10 times better. If we were 10 times better, then we'd be a unicorn. We're not. We're still like relatively small compared to Apollo or ZoomInfo, etc. Where you can, Apollo is like 10 times cheaper. That's why it's 160 million revenue. Yep.
Thank you so much.
Cool. Move on to Ariane.
Hey, Rob, I hope I'm audible. This is my first meeting with Athena, so really excited to be a part of it. I'm basically building Advanced Course. So we are about a year old. We are doing about 250,000 in revenue ARR. We were in the initial stages, we were mostly an academy-based platform for people at the grassroots level, for athletes at the grassroots level. And we are one of the first companies who have gotten, if you're aware of cricket, there's the International Cricket Council. So we are one of the first companies to get that brand of approval from the ICC in terms of in the coaching space. So we were mainly physical sentenced earlier, but now we are transitioning into some sort of a technical platform, like a community-based platform where all these athletes can communicate and stuff. But the bigger selling point is where we actually give access to these international level coaching and also these international level athletes. So we have multiple international athletes under our brand version. So now the problem that we are running into at the moment is that the international athletes going through the entire website and the chain. But what is happening is that the local coaches from around the globe, after the first session, which is done, the transaction is done on the platform. After that first session, we are seeing that transactions are moving out of the platform and they're directly contacting, communicating, leaving us out, where we were the first ones who actually got them to meet. So that is one problem that I would like to discuss as to how we could maybe navigate away from that, or maybe transition our payment structures maybe away from a transaction-based medium to something similar to what you had mentioned when I think Ritvik was asking the question, to something, a subscription-based model, to something of that sort. So that was the major question that I had.
Yeah, that's a difficult problem to answer. So if I understand it correctly, you have a coaching platform where athletes can find, you match athletes to coaches as a marketplace. And then the problem is after the match, they'll go direct to each other. I don't have like direct experience with this myself. I do have like a bunch of friends that run marketplace platforms. I would like just find specific mentors for this problem. So I would look at every marketplace that potentially has this problem. For example, freelance marketplaces, or maybe things like TaskRabbit in the States where you do odd jobs, services, trades, things like that. Even something like an Upwork or like an Odesk would have the same problem. And then I would find ex-employees in like operations roles at these companies where they would have direct experience with this problem. And then you could ask them like, hey, how did Upwork deal with this problem? Typically, yeah, the ex-employees are very like open to talking. and you could just find them on LinkedIn. One model I did see in the fitness space is, as you mentioned, like subscription, right? There was a new model, which I forgot the company name, but it seemed to be growing quite rapidly, which was you pay a $99 subscription per month and you have unlimited consultation with a fitness coach, but only via text. And this actually works out to be an okay workload for the coach because they might dedicate like maybe like half an hour a day, and then they'll go through like 20 text messages from like different people, and then they'll just answer it all in one chunk of time. So it's actually quite time efficient to do that asynchronously, as opposed to having like dedicated face-to-face like video meets time. And in that sense, like maybe you'll have a coach go off with one student if it's paired one-to-one, but if you pair like one coach to 100 students, they can't really get off your platform, especially if you make it like more text-based, and then all the conversations filter through whatever platform you like design. So I think it's just making it so that it's easier to transact on your platform than it is to transact separately. And if you move away from just the one-to-one sort of video like interface, it's the same with something like Upwork, right? I would rather transact on Upwork because I have the security guarantee. So I know that, hey, if this person doesn't do the work, there's like milestones.
There's one little difference. Sorry to interrupt. The Upwork and all these platforms are all online. However, when it comes to sports, like physical sports, like be it badminton or basketball or football, they basically meet at a venue. That's the biggest problem.
You can look at there's like the platforms like TaskRabbit is like, hey, I'm going to hire a guy to help me clean my house, or I'm going to hire like a babysitter, or I'm going to hire a tutor to come to my house and teach my son. So yeah, I think for all those platforms, they'll have like similar issues.
And secondly, what a suggestion that I was actually mentioning, we are a team of 2-3 founders. So what we were mentioning were that if we make the platform subscription based for the coaches, so they get access to the regular more clients, and then we connect them, and then we are done with it. And the coach stays on the platform because we keep connecting them with potential athletes that they can train in the longer run. And we can keep, let's say, the online tutoring part, which we have the flagship product for international athletes actually being on call one-on-one. They can't be there physically, but they're on a video call one-on-one with that athlete to understand the problems and discuss that. So we can have that perhaps in the platform on a transaction model, and the rest when it's physical meeting, maybe that can be on a subscription model for the coaches, but not for the athletes. So the athletes can still access the platform without any conditions applied to.
Yeah. I think it's not just like the billing issue. It's the bigger issue is going back to like, how do we create a 10x better product? Because just saying like, okay, we're going to do a marketplace for like sports coaching. It's yes, that is valuable. Clearly you're making revenue, but I wouldn't say that is like 10x better. Whereas if you experiment with some of these other like different models, like this text-based model, like maybe you can charge like $99 per student, but then you can match like 100 students to one coach. And then that way, like your margin is much larger. Like instead of taking, I don't know, like 30%, 50% margin right now, you could pay the coach the same like $500, $1,000, and you can keep the rest of the $9,000. In a similar sense that like the coaching model that we're doing right now in Athena, where it's maybe we'll have time to workshop with, let's say like works today, but everybody else might have like similar problems, and we could like scale that way. Yeah, I think it may be helpful as well to just study lots of different learning and coaching models to assess like, okay, which ones have the most impact in terms of like learning, and which ones have the highest margin. So the least effort for the coach and the most like learning for the students, the least time for the coach, most learning for the student, because that way you can build more and you can capture like more of that value.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. That helps.
Okay. Who's next? I think Vishal.
Yeah, hi. Am I audible, Rob?
Yes.
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi Rob. Thanks for having me at Technovity. This is my first meeting with you all. And basically, I'm a pre-final undergrad student. So basically, we are building a product, Glyph, So in a nutshell, if I talk about Glyph, so we tackle the challenges of creating resumes that accurately reflect skills and stand out from the employer. So what happens is the traditional resumes lack customization and ATS optimization, often leading to qualified candidates being overlooked. So at Glyph, we are developing one in-house LLMs and model that will combine the precision and flexibility of LaTeX. So as of now in the market, if we see, there are only 2 to 3 products that are available which are providing the service for making your resumes in LaTeX. And I have been in touch with a lot of people from fine companies from my LinkedIn, and they told me that LaTeX plays an important role when they optimize their resume for the shortlisting. And apart from this, there are lots of things which are distributed over all of the platform, right from getting leads, lead generation, and finding the emails. If I talk about the services like Hunter.io and the services which are there for creating a resume, they don't profile optimized resume for everyone to get shortlisted. So we at Glyph are solving this problem with a unique aspect, and we are USP is we are providing provision for creating your resume with the help of LaTeX. And traditionally, what used to happen is we have to code the resume if we want our resume in LaTeX.
That's the background, Abhishek. Maybe let's start with the biggest challenge that you're currently facing, and then we can go into the business as we talk about that.
Yeah, sure thing, sure. But biggest problem is just as you have mentioned that if we can have a product in public. So I just wanted to ask, since this product, I mean, the tech stack that I use in this product is quite mature. So wouldn't it be problematic for us to build in public because it will be easily available for everyone to imitate and copy us for the product?
Sorry, I'm trying to understand a bit more. Like, how does your product help people build their resume? Is it to help them build their resume? Is it to help them publish the resume? Or what? How does it help with like resumes?
Okay, so it will help the peoples to build their resumes from scratch, right? From just you can put put the information, and it will give you the LaTeX resume. We have an own inbuilt compiler that we have.
It will give you analytics for your resume.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. How is this different from LinkedIn? Because I can have analytics on my LinkedIn profile.
So basically, in LinkedIn, you have to put all the details based on your experience, and over the profile, you can put all of the things. But not only that, it can only provide the analytics based on the things that you will be, putting in the LinkedIn. But in our resume, we are providing the thing is we are tackling the problem of whenever you need to submit a resume, you generally submit a resume which is not ATS friendly and not in LaTeX. So we are providing a feature to that you can publish your resume in the form of LaTeX, which is only 2 to 3 competitors that are there in the market that we have identified so far.
Sorry. I'm trying to understand it in the form of like analytics. Are you saying like you have analytics for a resume, or am I misunderstanding here?
No, basically it is not an analytics, but on top of that, we are providing analytics on what can be improved in LaTeX, the resume in terms of the keywords that you're using, in terms of the revision that you have to do in the resume. So that is the type of analytics that we are providing in the resume.
Okay. Sorry, I'm still not clear as to how this is. Perhaps I'm still
Okay.
not clear on how the product works, but maybe if you wouldn't mind doing a write up like later, I could take a look. I really would not worry about like people copying or stealing your product, because there's probably 10 people out there already doing like what you're doing. If you really look, if you go on Crunchbase and you look at all the resume publishing services, there's going to be
Right.
hundreds. So I would say like really it doesn't matter, because the benefit that you're going to get from the publicity will outweigh whatever downside in the like literally every idea that any like of us would have thought of is already online. I literally cannot think of when I've had a idea and I go like search, and I really search like on Crunchbase, on YC, and look through everything related companies. Somebody's doing something similar, and that's probably inspired what I thought about. But like, that's not a problem, because you like the main challenge is the execution side. And I would say with something like resumes, you want as many people to know what you're doing and what you're building as possible, because it has a natural viral loop. It's just like who's working on influencer software to help influencers, in that if you have a resume publisher, the more people that publish on your resume publisher, it will be watermarks with like your brand, and it will spread naturally. So if you can truly create a better place to host like your professional data than LinkedIn, which is currently dominant in the market, then I think, yeah, like it doesn't matter if people copy, even, because you'll be growing faster than everyone else if you're coming up with something that's like truly unique.
Actually, let me clear you out. We have a differentiation between the tool that is LinkedIn and the services that we are providing. We are basically providing a platform where you can come and create your resume. And not only that will be a general resume, it will be in the form of a latex. And in terms of the competitor that we have, there are only 2-3 competitors that
So,
we have
sorry,
right now.
I don't understand what a latex is, but yeah, if you don't mind just popping in the chat and we can come back to it. Yeah, come on. Awesome. We'll go to Chaitanya next.
Hi everybody. Hi Rob. Am I audible right now?
Yes.
Awesome. So, hi everybody. I'm Chaitanya. I'm currently 17, and 6 months back, I started consulting few companies. I became a machine learning consultant, and I helped a lot of Indian companies integrate AI in their operation. And last month, I decided that I want to scale this. I want to create this into a solutions company, and I reached out to the smartest people I knew. I formed a team, about 5 people, including me. And I started consulting about 4 companies. I started creating models for them, structuring their data sets, like that. Last week, all of us realized, and I realized that these companies face very similar types of problems. India has a huge population. India also has a huge unorganized market. And because of that, it produces a lot of unstructured data, which is not at all suitable for an AI. Now, we've started working on a platform in which we help these Indian companies. Instead of creating customized solutions per individual company, we want to create one single platform which helps these companies just upload their data, make it structured, pre-process it, and transform it into a type of data set which is suitable for an AI. And nowadays, there are so many pre-trained models out there with so many complicated names that what we did for these companies is that we created a space in which they could type as a prompt that what type of model they want for what use case, and it returns a pre-trained model for that. Basically, creating a platform in which seamlessly they can go from ingesting the data, processing it, making it structured, transforming it, training it, and then hosting it. And another problem for these companies was that they didn't want to spend money on computing resources. So we basically created like a computing arbitrage thing in which we just utilized every free credit or compute every single platform had, and which made it cost effective. So integrating everything MLOps has
Thanks
to
so
have.
much, Chaitanya. Do you mind if we
Yes.
start with the problem first, like your business problem, and go into the background through that?
Yeah. So generally, I just wanted to understand, just get more feedback on whether this would be useful, because it's just trying to understand, because there are many people building businesses here, and especially in AI, just want to understand and get more feedback on it.
So your biggest challenge is figuring out, is what you're building useful right now?
Yeah, because we've talked about 10 companies and we want to talk to more to understand this problem is standardized.
Is anyone like happy to pay you for the platform that you mentioned? And not just say, hey, yeah, that's something we'll pay for, but like sign a check to say, hey, if you provide the service that you say you're going to provide, we'll give you this check. So sign like a letter of intent.
Yeah. So for the past 6 months, we have been creating these products for individual companies, and we have made contracts, they've paid us. And now we just want to switch it to a product so that we don't have to just create these similar products for individual companies. We just have to standardize it, make it a product, and then provide it. So yeah, to answer your question, yes.
Yeah. I don't know if like my perspective will be helpful at all. It's just mainly if you have users, you're consulting with users. I think that's a really good way to approach it. You start with like custom work, consulting, and you get to talk to users a lot, understand their workflows, understand their problems, and then you can see like common usage patterns. And then from that, you can product some of the services that you're doing that's more manual across like multiple users. And yeah, I can just keep doing what you're doing. And then if your users are paying you for the product, then that's all the validation that you need. They're paying you, then therefore it must be useful.
Okay.
Sweet. Rishab.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
My startup is simple. I am doing a D2C brand. Its name is Mirai Jewelry. And in that, I am selling 92.5 silver jewelry. And my goal is simple. As you all know that the D2C brand need to do a lot of marketing and they need to burn a lot in starting. So my catch for that is I am trying to contact some influencers to be their to be their merchandise jewelry partner. And my main goal is from starting from influencer for their jewelry, and in future, I want to be the official merchandise jewelry partner for big brands such as Marvel, DC, as because in India, no one is touching this market. Mainly, people are doing like hip hop and ice jewelry, but their market is very small. But on the other hand, this custom merchandise jewelry market is very big, but there is no one which is touching. So I'm in contact with some 2, 3 big influencers, and my main problem I am facing is to present myself and making a pitch deck for my seed round.
Sorry, is your problem like getting influences or is your problem raising money?
Actually, both, as we are a small brand, so we get connecting the influencers, and raising money is also a challenge for me. As I'm only like 21, so it's like very difficult. Like they don't.
I think raising money is a function of having a product that is 10 times better than anything else that's out there. I think when you're doing like an e-commerce product or selling like jewelry or like goods and services, that is quite difficult to raise money, like venture capital on, because physical products, not all physical products, but if we take jewelry in particular, like consumer products, actually not even, okay, if we just take jewelry in particular, I would not say that is typically venture funded, just like how like restaurants are not typically venture funded because they tend not to be as differentiated as perhaps, I don't know, like a biotech startup or AI or machine learning or a SaaS product, things like that. Having said that, there's a lot of people that find success in e-commerce. But this sort of just goes back to if your product is not 10 times better, hence why at the start of the session, I was like, the most important thing is get a product that is 10 times better. If your product is not 10 times better, the sales and the marketing is going to be like 100 times harder for you to do. Because just like how if you were to start a restaurant and there's thousands of other restaurants around, it's like a freaking slog. You're going to have to like work like your butt off. And then if the rate of success you'll have, like if success as a restaurant is making, I don't know, $500,000, if you get 1% of the way there, like you won't make that much money. Whereas if you pick like a massive problem and you're like, okay, this is a unique angle to go at it. Let's say, I don't know, Sam Altman's trying to build artificial general intelligence. Even if he gets like 1% of the way down, it's like $1 trillion problem. So he can build like a $10 billion business if he gets 1% of the way down. And then because it's so unique, the product, then everything else becomes easier. Whereas if you're like, okay, I'm selling a product that is perhaps like similar to other products out there, then it's going to be harder to convince investors. It's going to be harder to convince influencers and the like for a lot of these things. But to answer your question more specifically, like how would you reach out to influencers and pitch them? What we're doing right now at Contact Out is we're offering free product. So we're going to influencers. We're like, hey, we'll give you like a free unlimited usage of Contact Out for you to trial it. And then just leave us a review and post the video and tell us what you think. If there was an option to do that for your jewelry products, give out free samples, etc., for maybe some of the cheaper like product lines, that could be an option. And then in terms of investors, there are like there's a bunch of investor lists that we have on the startup curriculum with thousands of like angel investors, venture capital investors. You can cold email them. What's more effective is if you find founders that have taken money from these investors and you pitch your startup idea to the founders first, and then the founders introduce you to the investors. That generally tends to go better.
Yeah. One more thing, like what is the correct way to do a cold email?
Rashad, we might say that for at the end because like we have a couple other people on the call. For cold email templates, there's templates on the video on YouTube that we have for how to like reach out to mentors, etc. So you can refer to those on the curriculum. Cool. I think Frank is next.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob. My name is Frank, and I'm a startup founder for a design agency called WebNG. And currently, we've been doing design for a couple of years now, and we are trying to build our in-house product, which is also a design tool. And the main problem I'm trying to solve is to reduce the technicalities for non-technical people, businesses, and organizations, for them to be able to use AI tools to effectively build their designs for their websites and also manage it effectively. My two main competitors right now are Figma and Wix. So I'm trying to see how I can come up with a solution to integrate Figma and Wix into a single platform as well that can also have a Chrome extension tool and also serve as a Figma plugin as well, where you can work across different platforms. And that's it for me.
Yep. So the question is, how do you create a better design system than like Figma or Wix or I don't know, Canva or something like that?
Actually, I have been doing competitor analysis and user research for a couple of months now. And so far, we are trying to make sure that if we have just, for instance, Figma only allows you to design, but you can't really publish your designs into a full blown website. And Wix allows you publish and design as well, but Wix is not as flexible as Figma. So I'm trying to make a platform where it's flexible and it's also technical that you can publish your websites as well, but it's not that technical that non technical users can also access it. And it's also going to have an AI feature where if you need assistance like designing a page, you can also use AI prompts as well. And there's also going to be ready to use templates, which is also going to be free and also paid. And yeah.
I think typically, like, just to say, it's really hard to genuinely get a product to be 10 times better. If you get there, most likely you've already built a unicorn company and your startup will be growing on its way to 100 million revenue, and you'll be growing like 10x every year, something like that. Especially for established spaces like design or like web publishing, it's incredibly hard. Typically, like these insights, they can take the form of, okay, we do this and this and this and this. Most of the time, though, they don't. Like, most of the time, it's like they solve just one thing like 10 times better than was done before because like there are already multiple platforms to do. You can, okay, I can design on Figma and then maybe I'll publish through one of the web frameworks. Maybe I'll just give this to my engineer and I'll publish on one of the web frameworks. If I don't want to do that, then as others have mentioned, there's just Framer, there's all these other, there's WordPress, there's lots of like website builders. I think you can definitely make a product that is 10 times better than all this. For example, there's new like front-end frameworks coming out all of the time. For example, like Next.js was fairly new, in the last like couple of years. But it really takes like years of study and looking at like all of these and looking at like hundreds of these to be like, okay, how do I make it genuinely better? What may be a better angle that is being enabled by AI? Like typically these 10x better opportunities come about when there is a new technology that people can utilize that wasn't available before. Is what I've been seeing is that a lot of unicorn companies these days are service businesses. They're not trying to create better software. They're just being a service agency, but they're automating like 70% of the work. For example, Pilot is an accounting firm. They just do accounting like any other accountant, except a lot of their team are engineers and they've written scripts, both like just normal code and also like with some machine learning to automate some of the matching and the conciliation and things like that. One other area, as you guys would know, that massively impacted by machine learning and artificial intelligence is design. So like the AI isn't at a point where it can fully automate the design process for you. Maybe it can automate like 70% of it. Instead of needing to use like 5 designers, you can use like 2 designers. So what would be a great play right now is just to scale up your design agency. But then like your costs are now like 30% of what they were before. And you could just collect all that as profit. And yeah, if you're making money right now as a design agency, just scale that up and then automate the internal processes. But I wouldn't necessarily be like, okay, let's just go build the next like Figma, unless you genuinely have a insight that's just, okay, I'm clear on how I'm going to do this 10 times better, which was the case with Canva. Like I was in the Canva office when there were 20 employees. Like I've had the Canva founders were like cooking lunch when they were like just starting out 10 years ago. So yeah, they did have that insight, but I think right now it's like services are more. All right, I think we're at time for for the coaching session. Yeah, so thanks everyone for participating. Next up, we're going to go to focus group discussions where it'll be the same thing. You'll be put into breakout rooms and you'll talk about what's your biggest challenge. And then you guys can share experiences, get to know each other, and offer opinions about each other's challenges, as well as sharing, hey, what did you learn? What did you try? Just one thing to keep in mind, try to give opinions softly. So as a disclaimer, like 90% of what I said is probably wrong. Most problems are new problems. So when you try to give an opinion, try to give it softly. And if people like have an idea, try to build on their idea as opposed to say, hey, it won't work. Just be like, okay, we'll think about how could it work? And then if you can, instead of giving advice, try to talk about an experience that you've had with a similar problem. So instead of saying, hey, I think you should talk to users to get the answer, instead you could say, hey, when I was trying to figure out like whether my product would work or not, I interviewed like 10 users and this is what I learned. And this is how it helped clarify my thinking. Because that's usually like a lot more helpful. And as opposed to nobody likes being told what to do. So yeah, with that in mind, I hope you guys enjoy the breakout rooms, which like Rishi, Siren, and a couple of others on the team would be leading. So yeah, thanks so much, guys.
I'll be putting you into breakout rooms now. The goal for this is basically so you get to interact with each other. You get to share your problems and hopefully help each other out in solving those. Right? I'll open those breakout rooms now and we can jump in. I'm putting a timer for 45 minutes. So these rooms will close automatically after 45 minutes. The timer will run on the top so you have an idea. Take time, let everybody speak, let everybody put their ideas forward. And Rob mentioned more advice, more experience, be certain. Okay. See you guys in the breakout rooms. Okay. For the rest of people who are left in the call, did you not get an invite for a breakout room or are you not on the call? Just going across my screen here. Sudhanshu, Lakshya, Dan, and then Atharva and Gaurav. Are you on the call? Cool. So I'm going to put you all in breakout rooms. If you're still here, please join. If not, then see you in the next meeting.
Rishi, can you try putting Siren and me in one of the breakout rooms? I don't think I received any message.
Yes, I did not put you in Siren today. Give me 5 minutes. I
Yeah.
wanted you, Siren, on the main call. Give me 2
Cool.
minutes. Let
Cool.
get for everyone else to join.
Mm.
Hey, Shubham, did you get an invite to join breakout room? Are you speaking on your
Sorry. My internet just got something, so that's why I think I got back to this call. I was in the breakout room 1. How can I rejoin?
Do you not see an invite again?
As of now, I can't.
Okay, one sec. I'll set you up. Do you see it now?
On the top. Okay. Thanks.
Cool. I guess it's just us now. Is this Fireflies note taker from Jeff, like our Jeff or participant?
Not sure.
Because I'm not sure if I should kick it out or not. Okay, fine. I'll kick it. Cool. I didn't put you guys into breakout rooms specifically because I wanted to see if other people can function without a need for moderation. Hey, do you get a request to join a breakout room?
Rishi, could you throw me in? Because I'm like disguised.
Okay, good. I'll put you in one of them. Done. I'm switching you into another breakout room just because I guess the people in yours left. You should get a request now. Which moderation? I don't know if it's being recorded or not.
4 rooms in total, or how many rooms? 2 breakout rooms?
I think we have 3, right? I initially started with 5, but like a lot of people left. Now we have 3 running.
I see.
Just wanted to check in and see if these guys are functioning. So we have 3, we can split into each of them. That sounds okay. There's a 45 minutes timer. I think 5 minutes are already up. So in 40 minutes, it should be over. Ideally, if one of us has to always stay in the main room, because if people drop off from the meeting and want to rejoin, we need to do that. And put Rob in one meeting, in one breakout room. I'll put the 2 of you and the rest of them.
But I
I'll-
don't think on my end I will be able to add people into the breakout rooms.
You can. So just look at the activities tab at the bottom right and click on breakout rooms.
Oh, I see.
And can you see edit rooms on top? First option. So just
I
when you
see.
click that, you can move people around.
Okay. Gotcha.
Good. All right. So I'll put you 2 in room 2 and Just wait for 1 second. My voice has become so big, it doesn't scroll. And how do I put you in rooms? None.
Oh, maybe we can click on the joined on the
Okay.
activity.
Do you have an option to join?
I'll join. I'll join
to-
breakout 3 then.
Cool. Okay. Muskan, can you do too?
Let me check activities.
Hey, Athar, are you done with your breakout room? Any difficulty?
For some reason, I cannot see any breakout rooms under activities.
First option should be breakout rooms.
I see polls and great. But
Nothing above polls? 1 second. Let me see if you are a host. Yes, you are a meeting host. You should be able to see everything. Okay, 1 sec. I'll put you in a room. Very good.
join the device. Let me check again. Cool. I can see breakout rooms now.
When you go in, you'll see the option to join any breakout.
Okay, so we have 5.
Oh, Muskan, by the way, while you're on the call, can you also change the Luma invite? Because people are still registering on today's events.
Oh, okay. For next week, right?
Yeah, for next week. I chat will for you on Slack.
Cool. I'll do that.
Just need to replace the source link on embed.
Hello.
Need assistance with joining a breakout room? Are you on the call?
Yes, I need to join it.
1 second, I'll just put you into a breakout room. You should see a request now. Just give it a minute for everybody to join in into the main room. And then I got a couple of pointers that I got to go over with you all. And then we can call it a day.
By the way, where is Joseph?
Oh, Joseph is in Singapore. He's gone on compulsory military duty for 4 weeks. So he'll be out for 4 weeks. Cool. All right. I guess everybody is back. Any feedback, guys? Anything you like, you didn't like? Maybe let's start off with what you didn't like, and then we can talk about what you like, because ending on a high note. But yeah, anything that you guys disliked or would like more of, would like an improvement on, etc., etc. This is your time to share. So at a weekly basis. Yeah. Negative feedback first.
Just try to keep me with the same people next time. I can't use myself every week. I did
Definitely.
this thing last week as well.
All right. Makes sense.
It's okay if there are new people, but try to keep me with the same people. At least we can ask about each other's progress and all.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think my camera is acting up, so I'm a little jittery. But yeah, so once you're all in the community, you'll be able to follow up on each other's progress in person, as in when you drop notes on your progress. So that should not be a problem that's specific to these calls. For what we're looking for, answer this to me. I think a couple of you told me that you'd like to be in the same rooms. Tell me this, don't you think that could be a limiting factor to what you get to know and learn from other people?
That would be.
Because from what I assume, if you want to talk, if you found your tribe and you found the people that you want to communicate on a regular basis, I would not use these 2 hours for talking to them. This is for me to gain knowledge. This is for me to learn from other people. This is for me to help get my questions answered as to how I'm going to business further and how mentors like Rob could come in and help me. So I would use these 2 hours for them. But if you still prefer to the same people, definitely put up a request on the community and I'll try to keep you in the same breakout room.
I totally agree with you. We can connect new members and to keep in touch with the existing. We can use other resources.
And as for introductions, once you all get on Discord, we expect the first message out of you to be, hey, who am I? And why have I joined here? So if you drop those emails, hopefully everybody else already knows you the next time you join this call.
No, actually, I was not expecting new people. I was like, the same people will be here every week.
Oh, so for that, this is a constantly growing community. With each call, we're seeing an increase in the number of people who are interested in attending this, plus who are actually attending this, right? So I'll give you a brief. The first call that we conducted had only 2 people. Apart from, there were like 60 members from our side with 2 people on the call. The second call that we attended made it 5. The last call that we attended was like around 14 people. And this one, as you can see, has gone from 14 to like 70 people who initially were on the call, but have dropped off now. So week on week, the number of people are growing because it's also, for us, it's a startup journey as well. We're trying to grow something from scratch and build a community. So what we think is this is progress for us as the numbers seem to be growing. And hopefully you get to meet new people week on week.
I just got the email today itself regarding the call. Don't have any idea when the other stuff like the guides and all will be coming in that Rob had mentioned. So can we maybe get a timeline or
Yes, I was just coming on to that. So, firstly, we use a lot of automation tool. Oh, the exact timings of when communication reaches out to you might not be the same for everyone. But having said that, we are looking to send an email out to everyone by tomorrow with an onboarding pack that lets you know what all you have to join, how the task-based payout work, what kind of funding you can expect, what kind of sessions we conduct, so on and so forth. All of these details are mentioned in that, and I'll just pass it on to you by tomorrow because our automation will run tomorrow. Yeah.
Just what your few mails are going in spam.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up, Mohit. If you guys could help me out with this, please keep an eye out. That is why we've asked everybody to shift to Discord or WhatsApp page. No question of spam there. We're sharing the same communication that we're doing on Discord over email, right? Or WhatsApp to email. So if you see that my emails are landing in spam, help a brother out. Please mark them as not spam so that eventually for other people it does not land in spam. And this goes out for my entire team. I can give you a brief on why this is happening as well. Since February, all email service providers like Google, Yahoo, etc., changed their spam tolerance levels. So now the spam tolerance has shifted to 3%. So even if 3 people out of the 100 people I reach out to mark me as spam, I'll start landing in. So hopefully you guys don't mark me as spam. And if I'm already landing in spam, please help me out by marking me as not spam. Having said all of that, I think my last pointer was to look out for an email from me with the onboarding instructions. You'll most probably get them tomorrow. And once you're in the community, just follow everything mentioned on our guidebook and you have your track record set. All right. That's all I had from my end. It's been a long day. Thank you so much for your time, guys.
Actually have a little doubt. Muskan just mentioned that I will be getting onboarding kit after my selection if I get selected. And you're just saying that I will be getting this tomorrow. So what can I conclude from this?
If your form submission is apt, it'll get you in. We're
Oh,
just
okay.
looking to filter out people who are submitting 1-2-liners because if they can't put in effort into filling out 4 questions,
Right.
there's no point getting them added to the community. So if you have put in the effort to fill out a 2-pager, we'll happily accept you into the community because everything is anyways task-based from there on. So as in when you complete tasks, you get the benefit out of it. You don't complete tasks, you don't get the benefit.
Got it.
I have just one question. This question is for me. If somebody like me who is exploring into different ideas at the current stage, is there something for me?
Definitely. We want to enable you to move from that phase to actually getting started on your entrepreneurial journey. The tasks that we have basically start off with you with an idea of what you want to build. Being a founder, being a person who's starting their own business, a lot of it has to come from your end. As in when you do all of those things, I'm pretty sure you'll end up with some or the other idea to build out a business.
Thanks a lot, Rishi.
I was having one more question. That how can I join those Discord and WhatsApp community we talked about just now? Because I have not seen any such thing in my email or such.
You'll get that tomorrow. Our automations are set to run tomorrow, so you'll receive an email from me with all of the details.
All right.
Cool. I'll take that as the last question and then we'll move on with our days. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Hope you got value out of this. And we'll see you again next week and also on our community.
Next week, Tuesday, 5 to 7, right?
Well, next week, we actually have a mentorship session from another founder and timings are 5:30 to 7:30. So I'll give you a quick check on how you can keep a tab on what the timings are because these timings are subjected to change based on who the mentor is, how we are trying to book their times, so on and so forth, right? So we've built a page on Luma. I'm not sure if you've heard of Luma. This is where you registered for today's meeting, but Luma will list out all our meetings for the entire month. We're working toward that. So by tomorrow, all the meetings for this month would already be set up. And if there are any changes to that, we'll inform. You should get an email from myself because we'll be making changes on the meet. Yeah. All right then. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.
Thanks, Rishi. Thanks a lot.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Okay. Good. Right. I'll end the call now. Bye. Next week.
All right, see you.
Bye bye.
Thanks, guys.
Why do I not have the option to end the call? I'm off. Meet us on guys.
Bye.